YouTube, it's Rico, man, and I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on. We got UK drill rapper YS, 9th Street, jailed to 19 years for murdering innocent man. It's crazy, man. I heard a lot about YS, and it's crazy. After all this learning and stuff, he ends up getting locked up in jail and stuff, but you know already how that go, man. But I wasn't expecting to see something like this, man, and I didn't see him involved in a lot of videos I reacted to, so it's crazy seeing this new update right here about him and stuff. Other than that, man, if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Also tell your family and friends about our channel. Hopefully they become supporters of the channel while we're on the grind to 5K. And make sure y'all also smash that like button and comment on this video to help this video get recommended to a larger audience of people, hopefully bringing new supporters to the channel. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you know when we upload videos, because you don't want to miss out on those. And also feel free to add me and send me DMs on IG at LMERico. Other than that, man, y'all know what time it is, so let's start the screen record. That started, and we're gonna start the video now.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Huncho, back at you again with another video. And so for this next one, we're going to be taking a look at a case that's recently wrapped up that's surrounding.
And I also want to just say real quick, man, I keep saying this in a lot of videos when I hear about civilians or innocent people getting killed. Make sure you know who your ops is for real, man, because at the end of the day, it's not worth going taking an innocent life that didn't have anything to do with what you were involved in and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you taking them out is not going to give you any cool points or credit for doing anything, because that's not even an op that you had did that to. So at the end of the day, you ain't hurt nobody but an innocent man or whoever in their family and stuff, etc., etc. So at the end of the day, that's why I say, man, make sure you know who your ops is before you do commit something like this. But other than that, let's continue on.
YS from 9th Street. Now, for you guys who are unfamiliar with YS, he's a UK drill rapper who comes from the Graham Park estate in Colindale, and again falls under the group 9th Street. We've had a look into some of the 9th Street rappers over these past few months or so. The other day we took a look at how Sos had been pulled over by our police on the motorway for allegedly robbing a cannabis factory, and we also did a throwback case on YB. If you haven't seen those videos, I will leave them linked down in the description below. Feel free to go and give them a watch. In regards to YS though, he's made a little noise for himself and is quite known within the scene, but yesterday we got word that he was sentenced over a murder case that he was recently on trial for. A lot of people have asked me to cover this story, but I thought I'd wait until the sentencing date to cover it. If you guys follow me over on my Instagram, then you'll know that we shared this story when he was found guilty of the murder, but at that point he hadn't been sentenced, but again he has now, hence why I'm covering it. So let's take a look into what exactly went on.
I might have forgot a few little pieces of information, man, because I forgot he did go to jail and stuff for this crime and stuff, but I never did hear an update about that until now. So it's crazy to see, man. It's just super crazy. Then obviously beat the case 19 years. That's a whole lot of years you could have used to really grind and go crazy with the music, man. Because especially right now, while the drill scene is real hot out there, man. Because you don't want to miss your beat. And 19 years, who's to say drill gonna be around by then, and who's to say it's gonna really be any music for you to make anymore once you get up out of jail for the UK drill scene, because we don't know how long the drill scene gonna last, but hopefully it lasts a long time. But we gonna see, man. But at the end of the day, 19 years, you're missing out a lot. Your family, birthdays, etc., fun, all that. Now you in jail. You ain't really doing nothing. You just pretty much living day by day, following somebody else's rules and stuff. So just remember, if you in the streets and you take a crime like this and go get arrested for it, ain't no good. Simple.
And why YS was recently sentenced over this murder. This story takes place on the 29th of February 2020, where 24-year-old construction worker Asante Campbell, who specialised in railway track repairs, had agreed to work overtime, which would have taken him through to the night. The plan for Asante was to drive to the Rockfield House estate in Hendon to meet his friend Jason Taylor, who would have been waiting for him, and then the two would set off together in Jason's van to head to work. After kissing his daughter and fiancé goodbye, Asante headed out and turned up just as planned. He got to the estate, reversed into a parking space within the car park in the estate, and waited for Jason to arrive. But before Jason arrived, YS and 3 other men, one who hasn't been named as of right now because I don't believe he was arrested and charged in connection with this incident and is still at large, but there was 2 men who were also with YS, that being Kofi Abusa and Hafid Omar, and they'd all pulled into the car park armed with weapons and were ready for violence. What I'm about to tell you next is Asante getting attacked, but we have to remember that this all takes place within quite literally seconds. So the driver of the black Toyota Prius, believed to be Hafid, drove into the estate and reversed into the space alongside Asante's car. Almost immediately, all 4 jump out of the Prius, and YS produces a big knife and a sheath which is thrown to the ground. The first people to reach the car after getting out were 3 men, including YS and Kofi, and again that third person who hasn't been named. And believe it or not, it's said that the 3 were that eager to act out on violence, they had actually scuffled with each other in order to reach Asante's car. Asante tries to pull away, but the group were determined not to let him escape. Asante had his window open but couldn't escape because the gang had surrounded his car, and because of this, repeated thrusts were made through his window, and Asante was powerless to try and protect himself. After the attack, the group fled. Of course, Asante died at the scene, but it seems as if Kofi and Hafid were in a happy mood as they travelled to a club in South London in the Prius. Here they enjoyed a night out with friends and then returned home the next morning. Eventually Kofi, Hafid and YS would go on to be arrested and charged in connection with this incident and were recently on trial, which has just wrapped up. In court, a timeline of events is laid out which I've just explained to you, and prosecutor Oliver Glasgow QC told the court that it was a mystery as to why Asante had even been murdered in this situation, as he had no relation or connection to any of the group, and said that this boiled down to a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. We don't have much details from court, but we do have testimony from YS as he gave evidence in court, so we'll go through his back and forth with the prosecution. So given evidence in court, YS said that he knew his co-defendants through drug dealing but had been elsewhere on the night of the killing, and also accepted that he did spend time with them driving around selling cannabis and bagging drugs at the flat of Kofi's girlfriend, despite allegedly working for rival dealers. He also said that he sold Class B drugs after being put under pressure from a senior drug dealer whose identity he refused to reveal. He was asked about if he was subject to any physical threats, to which he claimed that this superior drug dealer and other drug dealers would beat him up a bit if he did something wrong. When asked,
this almost sounds like the other situation with what's his name? I'm trying to think of the other dude's name. Was it Suspect? No, it wasn't Suspect. I can't even think of the guy's name right now, man. But it's the video from yesterday, man. He pretty much was saying in court that he was threatened to sell drugs and stuff like that, or else he would get beat up and stuff. So it seemed like that's a common thing to try to use in court. And court, they pretty much not believing none of that. They pretty much looking at it like, yeah, you pretty much lying, man. We probably heard a few things about you, and that's why they use y'all music against y'all too, man. Because when y'all go to court, you can try to finesse as much as possible, make a story sound good, but just remember, even if you really doing what you rap about or not, it don't matter. The court is gonna use that against y'all and be like, from according to what you saying in these songs, man, it don't sound like you really too much of a good guy. And you sitting here in court pretty much telling us it's the opposite of who you is as a person. So one of these things is lying. You lying, or these songs that you rapping in is lying. So at the end of the day, they ultimately gonna say the person is really lying, and what they hear in the songs is the truth. And you could probably be somebody that really is just chilling and not really on that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. It come with the streets, and it come with trying to be somebody that want to be respected and stuff like that in the streets. Because once court use your music against you, they not gonna care about what you really saying in person. They really not. They just gonna go based off of what they hear in that music, and they gonna automatically pretty much say, yeah, that's the person you are. That music represents you at the end of the day. So I don't see why we should give you a chance, and that's definitely how they look at it. Other than that, let's continue on.
About drill music videos with him wearing the chain with the initials GP. The prosecution claim stood for the Graham Park estate. He simply said he wore it because it looked good and not because of the affiliation with the area. In court, he was questioned about the content of his music, with him saying that his lyrics explored different things going on in the world, including stabbings, shootings, and knives and drug dealing, and he said he made the music because that's what the fans wanted to hear. He said it was a character in his music that was made up so he could portray a realistic lifestyle that he wasn't necessarily living, so again it was realistic to the fans because that's what they wanted to hear. It was also heard that in retaliation for the killing, Kofi had been stabbed, although again Asante wasn't a gang member and it isn't believed he's affiliated with any gangs. It's thought that YS had fled London and made his way up to Leeds, where he was eventually arrested in connection with this incident. YS would go on to tell the court he made his way up there to deliver drugs and then he was going to come back, and he denied that he fled in fear of an attack on him. So I'm unsure from reports how long he actually had been in Leeds, but it's believed he was arrested in June of 2020, so that would have been months after the murder. He was also quizzed about his DNA matching the sheath of the knife that was used in the stabbing and claimed that it belonged to his twin brother rather than himself. He said, quote, "It's not my DNA. I never touched that knife. It's not mine. It must be his," again in reference to his twin brother. After a trial at the Old Bailey though, both YS and Kofi were found guilty of murder, whilst the jury failed to reach a verdict on Hafid, and so a retrial is to go ahead for him, and he was remanded into custody and was denied bail ahead of his further trial date. And yesterday it was believed that both Kofi and YS were handed life sentences with the minimum term of 19 years. And so a pretty sad story.
And that's the minimum. So imagine if they would have gave him the max or something crazy.
Innocent young man
definitely would have been 2 decades.
Had his life taken away because of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like the prosecution said, only the people that committed this murder will know their true intentions of that night. And it's also believed that Asante was a kind-hearted person and had a charitable nature, and it's believed that on a few occasions he had supported the family of a suicidal girl. He dropped a complete stranger off at the airport, and he even stepped in to play football with a boy in the park who was playing football by himself. So
yeah, and that's a true innocent person right there, bro. It's crazy.
You can see what kind of person he was, and again, for his life to get taken away like that is extremely sad, to say the least. But I do want to say rest in peace to Asante, and we have to remember that he's leaving a fiance behind and a small child along with his extended family as well.
Definitely so RIP and prayers and condolences to his family
at this very hard time. But let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section. But
yeah, man, y'all comment down below how y'all feel about this situation, man. It's definitely a sad situation, man. Like I always say, man, when the streets pretty much want to comfort somebody, they come for everybody, and it don't matter who you are. You be an innocent, a woman, a child, an elderly, anybody. It don't matter. Once violence comes, it comes, and whoever is in the way, it don't matter. It's gonna pretty much go over them at the end of the day. Yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Hold on real quick. I did want to see, because who was the video about that I did not too long ago? I got it right here. It was Lowski. Yeah, Lowski tried to finesse the court too, saying pretty much somebody was forcing him to sell drugs and stuff, or else they would do something to him if he didn't and stuff. And that's what pretty much YS tried to do. But courts, like I said, they not believing none of that. They not even trying to believe none of that. So it is what it is, man. But that's pretty much the end of this video, man. Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about the situation and stuff like that, and we'll go from there. But other than that, man, don't forget to tell your family and friends about our channel. Hopefully they become supporters, and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed. Hit that subscribe button now. excuse me, hit that subscribe button now. Also, turn on your post notifications so you know when we upload, because you don't want to miss out. And smash that like button and comment on this video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people, hopefully bring in new supporters as well. And follow me on IG at LMERico. Other than that, man, I'm going to catch y'all later on with more videos. Peace.